Hey guys, as promised, I've got the UWELL Yearn Neat 2 to go over today. One of the easiest vapes I've actually got. In fact, I don't even really need to go for an up close with it. I just want to mention, okay, that this has become one of my favorite vapes. In fact, it's pretty much replaced my Caliburn G and my Koko Prime. So, pretty awesome. Let me just kind of show it to you. This is UWELL Neat 2. And I liked it so much, like none of the other reviewers do this, okay? So I'm just gonna show you, right? I went and bought another one, okay? And on top of that, I also bought pods. I've actually got another thing of pods too with it. So I pretty much love this pod. There's really not much in terms of downsides on it, okay? I'll talk about those in a second, but let me just sort of show you what comes in the box. This is the box you get. It's the UWELL Yearn Neat 2 box. Inside, okay, let me tell you what you get. Well, I won my first pod kit, and so it came with something a little bit special, and also something I want to talk about real quick. This. So it's a nice little kind of pre-printed note, but it talks about the fans weekly event, okay? And UWELL on their social media page is giving these or giving prizes away to fans that are active. They'll have a weekly thread, and just this last week they gave out some Valerian SE pod kits. So those haven't been released yet, and I unfortunately was not one of the fans that won it, but I was one of the fans that won the Neat 2. Now, it'll take you about 3 weeks to get it that way, so just understanding that. I definitely would highly recommend that you guys go on UWELL's website, sign up. Like, it's got all their social media, like UWELL Tech at Facebook, UWELL Tech on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then of course YouTube, okay? So I would highly recommend that you guys follow them. Highly recommend it. Vicky, one of the marketing people that works on the website, awesome. Great person to reach out to if you're looking for any help or you have any questions or concerns about your UWELL devices, okay? What comes in the box? Really not a whole lot. You got your Neat 2 device. You have one pod, okay? You've got a little warning card, and then you've got your user manual. Well, the user manual you don't necessarily need unless you're maybe having some problems and you're getting some weird blinking, but that's it. No USB-C cable or anything like that. I guess they just kind of assume that you already have one. You're just given the pod and the device. When you get the pod, there's going to be a little protective film that you're going to have to remove. You just take that off, put it in, and you're ready to vape once you fill it up, right? Well, you want to wait a couple minutes before you vape on it, but and let me show you what it does. Extremely flavorful vape. It reminds me a lot of the Wenax K1. To me, something about the coils, you know, even though they don't necessarily look alike at all, and they even seem to have different diameters, but they taste very, very similar. They pull out the same kinds of sweet flavors. But one thing that I can mention is I've never ever gotten any hint of a burnt hit from this or any kind of leaking. With the Wenax K1, I have, okay? If I were to compare the two pods in the way that they work, right? Even though this appears to hold more e-liquid, it doesn't. They're both 2 milliliter pods, right? They're both clear and open so you can see your juice levels, which is really, really helpful. I do like the mouthpiece more on the K1 than the Neat 2. But I do like the mouthpiece on the Neat 2 better than I like the Caliburn G Koko Prime mouthpiece. So that's a thing, right? The Neat 2 device, it has a 520 milliamp hour battery, 2 milliliters of capacity in the pod, and it also has like Type-C charging capability. Could the battery be bigger? Yes, 100%. The battery could be and probably should be bigger. I don't understand why they don't just make bigger batteries on these. If I take out my Koko Prime, I'm gonna show you size-wise, right? You can obviously tell there's way more battery capacity in this, okay? But in terms of size, thickness, and everything, right? Much, much lighter, even with the pod and the juice in that. Comparing it to the EVO-C, right? A lot smaller than the EVO-C as well, right? Compared to the Caliburn G, right? Now, what do I like about the device? Well, the flavor. Flavor's always king. Flavor trumps everything else for me. And this is top of the line, top notch. The airflow is perfect. It doesn't have a dual channel airflow, but the airflow is perfect. I wouldn't change it. What don't I like? I don't like that it only came with one pod. As soon as I realized how much I like this, I went out and I bought it, you know, domestically. I did register a business like in my state, you know, for the purpose of getting things like from distributors, you know, business to business. And first thing I did was, you know, go out and pre-order another Neat 2 and some pods because I absolutely love it. Overall, I think the problem with the Neat 2, and you can see that I love this pod. I mean, I've already got it all scratched and scuffed up, and maybe that's the thing that I don't necessarily like about it. It's a fingerprint magnet, and it does kind of scuff and scratch easily. Overall, when I look at this, it looks kind of cheap, and I don't like the overall, like the graphics on here. I think that if you compare the Neat 2, you put the Neat 2 and the Wenax K1 together, right? I mean, you got like Apple, and then this isn't Samsung. This is like freaking 2004 Motorola, okay? In comparison, it's just out of date looking. It's not appealing, and it actually looks and pretty much feels cheap to me. But with that said, in regards to the performance, it ultimately does perform, I think, better than the Wenax K1. And the flavor, I think, is slightly better, right? So, I mean, I have to recommend this. I have to recommend it because it's taken over my other UWELL devices. In fact, like, aside from the devices that I'm currently testing, it's the Neat 2 and then the device that I'm testing. One of the devices that I really do like that I'm testing right now, that I didn't think I was gonna love, is a Smock product, which is the Novo X, okay? And then I have one that I can't actually show you guys yet that is kind of in a different class than this. But as the UWELL Yearn Neat 2, I mean, it might look kind of cheap and might even feel that way, but I promise you, it's delicious, and it's one of those pods that you gotta get. You gotta get it. You gotta get it and try it. Very cheap, under 20 bucks. The pods are really cheap too. I want to say, like, I think they're even under 10 bucks. So it's one of those things where if you're struggling a little bit, or you're kind of getting sick of your, you know, Caliburn Gs or even your Wenax K1s, you got that sort of vape ADHD like I do, I don't think you can miss with trying this. It'll at least take care of you for a while. Oh, and then also I've had this pod and this one going for 2 weeks without a problem. 2 weeks without a problem. Not bad. Daily use, 2 weeks. Pretty good. Okay, guys, with that said, that's going to be it for the UWELL Yearn Neat 2 review. Keep an eye out. I've got a couple things I want to post, including, of course, like my Smock Novo X, and I'm going to be comparing that with the Lux Q by Vaporesso. And then, believe it or not, I even got free Max Pod, like people have been suggesting forever. And like I said, a couple I'm not supposed to show you yet. So with that said, guys, thank you again. Please like and subscribe. I will try and be around more often. If you need anything, please reach out. I have been really slow to reply, but that will change after next week. After the 21st, I will finally be done teaching for this academic year, and I will have a couple weeks before I do my summer class. Thanks.